to those other areas during the summer months. If they were stuck up there in the wintertime, it would be bad news for manatees. So that's why their primary range is here in Florida. Once water gets into the low 60s, even 50s, manatees, they have to head to sources of warm water. That's why technically in the wintertime you don't have any resident manatees here in our river or off our bay or anything like that. They actually don't live here year-round. They all exhibit the seasonal migration to warmer water sources. They'll go to the freshwater springs of Florida, like Homosassa Springs, Crystal River, and Blue Springs, where the water stays in about the 70s all year round. And then manatees have even learned about man-made structures that we have gone to, we have built, and they found out that there's a warm water discharge from our power plant sources that allows for them to have a warm water refuge throughout the winter months. A local one of those is up at Apollo Beach at the Tico Power Plant. So during the wintertime, we'll see a lot of manatees there, but as we've had these 80-degree days pretty consistently here for a month, our water temps have warmed up, so you're seeing manatees move out of their winter habitat and into their fall, summer, and spring habitat in the rivers and the bays, and even off our coast. Now, when manatees exposed to cold water, they can be sick with what's called cold stress syndrome. It's common in manatees or frostbite. That's actually why this manatee's here. He was affected by cold stress syndrome, and back in January of 2014. Now, he was taken to the Lowry Park Zoo Manatee Hospital where he was treated for this illness, and he came to us back in April.
Did he come out
this year? So he is a second stage rehab facility manatee. That's what we are. We're a second stage. So we're not a hospital. We don't treat this animal or any other animals that come in here. We just serve exactly as that, second stage. So the first stage is the hospital, second stage is us. Then they can be released out into the wild. So animals come to us if they're not quite ready for release yet. They haven't met a certain amount of requirements. And one of those requirements is a weight requirement. We want to see manatees around 800 pounds before they can be released back into the wild. So he's here to fatten up in short. When he first arrived to us back in April, he was about 270 pounds. At this point, we estimate he's around 500 pounds. So his tentative release date is going to be January of 2016, if not sooner, maybe November or December of this year. So we became a second stage rehab facility back in 1998 when the Parker Manatee Aquarium became part of the Manatee Rehabilitation Partnership.
She's listening.
Since 1998, we've had 28 roommates, 28 manatees here to stay with Snooty. Now before that, Snooty was just by himself. He really does enjoy human interaction because for the longest time that's the only interaction he got was from his caretakers. The only other manatee he'd seen before was his mother. Before that point, he even remembers her. So Snooty's story starts all the way back on July 21st, 1948 when he was born at the Miami Aquarium and Tackle Company. Originally, there were two fishermen there that were starting up this aquarium out of an old Danish warship boat. Creative idea. And they had a large pool they wanted to make into a manatee exhibit, and they needed a manatee. And really the only place to get one back then was straight from the wild. And obviously, seeing as laws were a lot different back then, they were able to obtain a permit that allowed them to go out and catch a wild one. And that's what they did. They found the biggest manatee, they brought it back to their pool, and it all seemed great until they were very surprised when they came in one morning and there were two manatees swimming around their pool. Big whoops, they had caught a pregnant female, which was Snooty's mother, and given birth to him there. So they did release his mother shortly after nursing with Snooty and then ended up keeping Snooty. But only about 11 months later, they could no longer take care of him there, and they were looking for a new place for him to live. And that's when he discovered the city of Bradenton in 1949 as part of their Summer Celebration Festival. He was very well received by the community. Everyone liked Snooty, the idea of him, and they kind of thought to themselves, well, it is Manatee County, after all. Seems like a pretty appropriate place for Snooty the Manatee to come live the rest of his life. So he came over in 1949 and he's lived here ever since. Snooty's had a lot of homes throughout his lifetime, a lot of pools, swimming pools at one point. But he came to this pool in 1993 with 60,000 gallons of fresh water. Now manatees are capable of living in fresh, brackish, or saltwater habitats just fine. It doesn't affect them. So throughout this presentation, I'll be trying to hand feed to Snooty. He eats a lot of food throughout the day, so we're always busy feeding him. We feed him pretty much from the time we come in at 7 till the time we leave at 5. And he likes his diet. His entire diet has been. He's very special, but he's also incredibly spoiled. This is how he likes to eat. Have the food put right in his mouth. And that's okay because he is a lifelong resident here. Now the other manatee is not living here forever. He's going to be returned back to the wild. So we of course can't treat him in the same manner that we treat Snooty. So interacting with this manatee and hand feeding him are of course out of the question. We of course have to feed this manatee. His whole purpose is to gain weight here. But we have to find a way to do it a little differently. To feed our wild manatees, we use these feeding tubes, or what we call EEDs, environmental enrichment devices. And it's just a big word for the feeding tubes to put their food in, their other toys. So what this does is it encourages natural foraging behavior. It's going to sink to the bottom, and the animal can graze on it just like he would wild vegetation. And the second thing it does is it eliminates any interaction between us and them. So we don't have to hand feed him, throw food at him, call him over. We just go ahead and throw that in. Lunch down on lunch, all on his own. So Snooty's lunch right now is some broccoli. Take notes, kids. People really like that right now. Little guys munching on some romaine lettuce. So that gives you a little insight into what their diet is. They're herbivores, so they eat nothing but vegetation. They're like the vegetarians of the sea. So they'll eat about 8 to 10% of their own body weight each day. So for 1,000 to 3,000 pound manatee, that's a couple hundred pounds of food they're eating every day. Snooty's getting about 80 pounds as of right now, food, about 60 pounds of romaine lettuce, 60 to 70, 3 pounds of cabbage, 3 pounds of kale, 3 to 4 pounds of broccoli, a pound each of sweet potatoes and carrots, and of course he gets an apple every morning to keep the doctor away. And that's what he eats every day. A visual idea of how much food that is right over there on the dock. All the boxes in the basket, that is what we're throwing for these 2 manatees. Now in the next couple weeks we're expecting 2 more manatees to join us. They were orphaned or abandoned manatees, so we're just going to be fattening them up to 800 pounds just like this guy. So we're also going to be feeding a lot more food to them, so pretty much our entire dock will be taken up by boxes to give you all an idea of how much food they eat. Now obviously in the wild they're not eating romaine lettuce and sweet potatoes and carrots because that's not available to them. But they're herbivores, so they'll eat all that aquatic vegetation in the flora waters and around. They'll eat sea grasses like manatee and turtle grass. They'll eat water lettuce, mangrove leaves, and then even some invasive plant species like water hyacinth and water hydrilla. Now since Snooty is a special boy, we do treat him to some birthday treats on his birthday. We actually make him a cake and everything, full 9 yards. So we'll give him some his treats like beets, sweet potatoes, baby carrots, strawberries, and pineapples. So they are an endangered species, the Florida manatee, and current estimates think there's around 5,000 to 6,000 left in the wild today, with an average lifespan of 13 years old. Snooty being 66, it's clear there is a problem. They do face a lot of threats in the wild by both natural causes and human impacts. Natural causes include cold water, what affected this manatee here, and then a harmful algal bloom known as red tide. There's also a lot of human impacts, things that we do that affect these manatees. The boats are one thing. They're large, slow-moving creatures, and they were never built for speed. They actually adapted to have no natural predators, so they never had anything to run from. The boats were not one of the things they were adapted to run from. But they can be also subjected to the fisheries, either by entanglement in all the fishing gear, the hooks, the lines, the nets, and the traps. They can ingest that material, ingest pollution that makes it into our waterways, and then even change of habitat and habitat loss by all the things we do to our aquatic environment. So I didn't get to actually introducing this other manatee, I just told you a story. He was rescued got the nickname by Yaklamore. He's 2 to 3 years old, and I think 500 pounds at this point. So with all this food that they're eating, now you can understand why they're called sea cows. Definitely an appropriate name because you eat like one. But their closest relative is not a cow. They don't share any relation with a cow. Their closest relative is actually the elephant. They share a lot in common with that animal. Thick, gray, wrinkled skin, toenail, fingernails on their pectoral flippers, a prehensile snout like the trunk of an elephant, and then even a common ancestor that used to live on land. Anybody have any questions about Snooty or his roommate here, just manatees?
Does the wild manatee get to eat the same variety of food that you feed Snooty?
Yep, he gets the same stuff. He just doesn't get an apple in the morning. Snooty, since he is a resident here, that's something that he gets daily, but that's not normally something a wild manatee would get in their diet. Neither would they get romaine lettuce, but we just don't want to give too much sugar to this animal. Yeah, he gets cabbage, carrots, potatoes, sweet potatoes, kale, romaine lettuce, and then also what we do is when we have the opportunity and enough staff to do it, we'll go out and collect wild plant specimens like the water lettuce, and especially those invasive plants like hydril and hyacinth. We'll bring them in to feed our wild manatees. It's kind of funny though, they develop a little bit of a taste for romaine lettuce, and if you drop a head of romaine in next to their wild food, they'll actually go for the romaine. So we'll try to get them used to that. That's what the purpose of the wild food is. What's your question?
Which one came in here first, Snooty or the wild one?
Snooty. Snooty's 66, and he came back in 1949. He was born in 1948 in Miami. This one's only 2 to 3 years old.
And he came here in like the 2000s?
He came here just last April.
Where's it? I forgot.
That's okay, she's done.
I forgot. What?
You have a question?
How much does Snooty weigh?
How much does Snooty weigh? Good question. Snooty's about 1,000 pounds. He's 9 feet 9 inches in length. So manatee males can be anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 pounds. So I have a question for you. Do you think the males, do you think the girls or the boys are bigger? You don't know? Just guess. Males? It's actually the girls. The girls get a lot bigger. Females can get up to 13, 14 feet long and 3,000 to 3,500 pounds. They have to get that big because they're the ones having the calves that are 62, 70, 80 pounds at birth.
Snooty's a boy, that's why he's not a baby. So we were correct.
Snooty's being a little snooty about his food right now, but believe it or not, that's not why he is called that. That's not why his name is that. He definitely embodies that personality now. But he was actually originally named after a popular radio show host back in 1948 called Baby Snooks. That was his name because they thought he was a she for the first couple weeks and months. When they found out that he was a boy, they changed it to Baby Snoot. So when he turned 21, it didn't feel appropriate to call him a baby anymore, so just Snooty.
Yeah, that's neat. That's kind of neat. Does it want to go for phone? Does that go?
She's squeezing.
I'll get smoky, don't worry. Go ahead.
Are there a lot of manatees in this bay on your show?
Well, we don't have a permanent resident population. Again, they go to their winter sources and their winter areas. But usually we count around 100 manatees in Sarasota Bay during the summertime.
I noticed there's an awful lot of trash going in the water.
Yeah, I mean, there's pretty much trash everywhere nowadays. You'll see manatees that will kind of make their way up and down the coastal beach water too. They don't go really far off at all. They'll be by the piers. You'll see them make their daily routes. A lot of manatees like to hang out in the bays and bayous, even in the river systems.
Get down.
wild manatee present. We don't want to interact with them. Plus, Snooty's a large animal, and for safety reasons, we don't want to take any risks. But we do a lot of out-of-water interaction with them as far as touching and tactile praise, verbal praise. Come on, bud. Lettuce. Just go see the treats.
Does he do any, I don't want to say tricks, but any?
He knows husbandry behaviors. Like rolling over, we can do that. He's target trained as well. Training has been limited with Snooty because it wasn't started till later on in life. I'm not saying that an old dog can't learn new tricks, but also with the other manatees around, we can't really do any training with him because we don't want that interaction. He's participated in some research before. But at his age, he's very stubborn now, and he just kind of does what he wants. Even if you ask him to do something, he may just completely ignore you.
Oh, man.
Well, I am not giving you your carrots. That's dessert. Whoops.
Will two males spar over a female in love?
Kind of, yes. They'll actually form mating herds where it's like 20 males after one female, and they'll all kind of just bump each other around. They don't actually fight or have any territorial displays. It's more of just overpowering.
Aw, there we go.
Thank you.
That's all. Unless you do something else. Come here. Oh, very good boy. All the way. That was close. All the way. Good boy. Good boy. This manatee also, the longer he's been here, the more lazy they get too. They learn Snooty's kind of behaviors, and they realize it's a lot easier to eat floating stuff here than actually swim down to the bottom and eat, so.
How high will it come up on the platform?
He can pretty much pull himself. Imagine if I was Snooty, like this. When he was younger and more strong, he could even pull himself farther than that.
Wow.
But yeah, he'll kind of lift himself up with his pectoral flippers and really get into it. I hear ya. Come here. You know you can do that. You're just being a little shy and stubborn today. Everybody wants to see how strong you are. He does this thing where you'll ask him for a behavior, and he'll like close his eyes, and he can't see it, or he's thinking over it. And then he won't do it.
Like applause?
I don't know if he doesn't actually respond to applause as verbal praise. If anything, he'd be like, what's that noise? Come here. I'll be out here a little bit longer with Snooty if you have any other questions, but if not, enjoy the rest of your visit here at the aquarium and museum. Good question?
How do manatees communicate with each other in the wild?
They have a little vocalizations, like a little bird or mouse. It's like squeaks, squeals, chirps. Like dolphins, but dolphins are a lot more, they have a more advanced communication. Dolphins can actually have a lot more of a repertoire, even their own names they can identify themselves with. It's not believed that manatees possess that.
Has Snooty, have you heard of communicating with the other rabbits?
What we notice is Snooty, he communicates with us. You'll hear him chirp if he wants something or if we're not paying attention to him. When he gets excited, he'll do it too. And when one of the manatees starts vocalizing, the other one comes near, wondering what's going on. So this one definitely communicates, I think, with Snooty more than Snooty tries to communicate him. Because again, for 40, 50 years of his life, yeah, 45.
So he's trying to communicate with them.
Possibly, yeah.
He doesn't seem to be as active. Is that because of the day?
He has his days. Yesterday he was swimming around in circles. Today he's just really lethargic. I think he had a long Friday night. He's gonna come say hello now.
Get ready, girls. Look. It's a picture, son. She can just clear it. She can go ahead and do it.
Question? You remembered your question?
Yes.
What is it? They make noise? Like a little bird or mouse. Like they like chirp, squeak, squeal.
You're come up with something nobody else has done. Thank you for the question.